On a moonless night over hostile Iranian airspace, the F-15E Strike Eagle, long considered one of America's most advanced and lethal fighter jets, was suddenly overwhelmed by a ghostly, coordinated swarm of drones that appeared to blind its sensors and confuse its pilots in the critical moments before disaster struck. In one of the most chaotic and costly nights of the 2026 Iran conflict, U.S. Special Operations Forces reportedly suffered the loss of not just one but multiple aircraft in a single, brutal engagement, underscoring the ferocity and sophistication of the Iranian air defense and drone assault they faced. According to post-mission intelligence debriefs, Iranian drones acted as forward scouts, relaying the F-15E's precise GPS location, speed, and heading to ground-based missile teams, effectively feeding the kill shot in real time while U.S. crews remained unaware they were being tracked and targeted until it was too late. Intelligence sources described a terrifying aerial ambush, a coordinated sky swarm of interconnected Iranian drones that shadowed the F-15E's flight path, forming what analysts now call Iran's most sophisticated and frightening trap, yet a networked drone architecture designed to hunt high-value aircraft. In his harrowing post-ejection debrief, the downed F-15E pilot recalled that the final image he saw before punching out was a surreal, jellyfish-like formation of Iranian drones' larger unmanned aircraft linked together with smaller drones dangling beneath like legs, moving as a single coordinated organism in the night sky. In a chilling display of modern asymmetric warfare, Iranian forces deployed a network of multiple unmanned aerial systems to track, shadow, and ultimately help target the U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle as it flew deep inside hostile Iranian airspace during the 2026 conflict. According to post-strike intelligence assessments, these Iranian drones acted as airborne spotters, continuously relaying the F-15E's precise GPS coordinates, real-time airspeed, and heading data directly to Iranian air defense commanders waiting on the ground. A senior U.S. military official, speaking on condition of anonymity, confirmed that the drone network provided critical, real-time targeting information that enabled Iranian forces to vector weapons onto the F-15E with a level of precision rarely seen in previous confrontations. Defense analysts say Iran appears to have adapted tactics inspired by Ukraine's innovative drone warfare against Russia, using cheap, expendable UAVs to perform reconnaissance and laser designation roles traditionally reserved for far more expensive and sophisticated platforms. The fatal blow came from a shoulder-launched, infrared-guided missile believed by U.S. intelligence to be of Chinese origin that struck the F-15E at low altitude, exploiting gaps in the jet's defensive suite and leaving the crew with almost no time to react. Telemetry and post-mission data suggest the F-15E's onboard defensive systems provided barely half a second of warning before impact, far too little time for the crew to deploy countermeasures or execute evasive maneuvers to avoid the incoming missile. Compounding the danger, the particular F-15E variant involved reportedly lacked a missile approach warning system, MAWS, capable of detecting and alerting crews to incoming infrared-guided threats, leaving it dangerously exposed to this class of attack. In the chaotic moments after the strike, the pilot managed to eject from the stricken aircraft and was recovered by U.S. Special Operations Forces in a high-risk rescue mission conducted shortly after the jet went down inside Iranian territory. The weapons systems officer, however, did not eject in time and remained missing after the crash, triggering a massive multi-day U.S. search and recovery operation that stretched across hostile Iranian terrain and became one of the most daring rescue efforts of the entire conflict. In one of the largest and most complex special operations missions of the 2026 Iran conflict, hundreds of U.S. troops and scores of aircraft, including fighters, transports, and special operations helicopters, were thrown into a high-stakes rescue effort to recover the downed F-15E crew deep inside hostile Iranian territory. To confuse and overwhelm Iranian defenses, the rescue plan reportedly included coordinated diversionary strikes and feints across more than 6 separate regions of Iran, stretching enemy air defenses thin and creating narrow windows for the recovery teams to penetrate and extract their comrades. Amid the chaos of the rescue, an A-10 Thunderbolt II attack jet called in to provide close air support for the ground teams was reportedly lost to Iranian air defenses, adding another tragic chapter to an already costly and brutal night of combat over Iran. The toll on U.S. Special Operations aviation grew even heavier when 2 MC-130J Commando II aircraft, critical to inserting and extracting rescue forces, were reportedly destroyed on the ground during Iranian counterattacks on the makeshift forward operating sites used during the mission. Compounding the losses, several AH-MH-6 Little Bird Special Operations Helicopters Elite, Agile platforms used for night raids and personnel recovery were also reportedly destroyed in the fierce fighting that erupted as U.S. teams battled to reach and secure the crash site. In his post-ejection debrief, the F-15E pilot described seeing a bizarre, jellyfish-like swarm of drones hovering and maneuvering overhead in the moments before his aircraft was hit a formation so unusual that it immediately stood out even amid the chaos of a high-intensity air battle. According to the pilot's account, the drones appeared to be interconnected, moving in unison as a single, coordinated formation rather than as individual, independent aircraft, suggesting a level of networked control and swarm behavior rarely documented in real-world combat. The pilot further described smaller drones dangling beneath larger mothership UAVs, resembling the trailing legs of a jellyfish, with the entire structure drifting and adjusting as one cohesive unit in the night sky above the stricken F-15E. Struggling to convey the threat, the pilot reportedly likened the drone formation to a minefield in the sky, a dense, moving web of unmanned systems that seem to fill the airspace and leave little room for error or escape once detected. Taken together, multiple intelligence reports suggest Iran may have equipped these airborne drones with advanced sensors to continuously track the F-15E's position, speed, and heading, effectively turning the sky itself into a persistent surveillance and targeting network. By relaying data in real time, these drones may have allowed Iranian commanders to identify the F-15E's exact position and predict its flight path with unprecedented accuracy, enabling ground-based missile teams to time their shots with deadly precision. The cumulative weight of pilot testimony, telemetry data, and post-strike analysis suggests that drone-based sensing and targeting support may have played a decisive, even key, role in the shootdown of the F-15E over southern Iran. The incident is reported to have occurred over southern Iran on April 3, 2026, during the broader U.S.-Israeli military campaign against Iranian targets, a conflict that rapidly escalated into one of the most intense aerial confrontations in the region's modern history. Altogether, these accounts point to a possible new doctrinal use of drones by Iran, not just as loitering munitions or decoys, but as integrated, airborne targeting nodes capable of guiding precision strikes against high-value, fast-moving aircraft like the F-15E Strike Eagle. New images reportedly show a damaged Kibar-Shikan re-entry vehicle fitted with a multi-element CRPA antenna array, suggesting that the missile may have carried a protected satellite navigation system inside its warhead section. According to technical assessments, the presence of a CRPA system indicates that Iran is advancing the guidance architecture of its ballistic missiles by adding greater resistance against jamming and navigation signal spoofing. Iran could potentially add more antenna elements in future designs to improve the system's ability to identify hostile interference and suppress several jamming sources at the same time. However, even a high-quality GNSS receiver alone cannot guarantee reliable guidance throughout a ballistic missile's flight, particularly when the vehicle is moving at extreme speed or operating under intense electronic attack. That is why high-performance inertial navigation systems remain essential, allowing the missile to continue calculating its position and trajectory even when satellite navigation signals become weak, distorted, or unavailable. Advanced gyroscopes and accelerometers continuously measure the missile's movement, rotation, and acceleration, enabling the INS to provide critical navigation data throughout the flight. GNSS and INS can work together in a complementary architecture, with satellite signals correcting accumulated inertial errors while the INS maintains guidance during brief interruptions or periods of jamming. Advanced algorithms and onboard computing can further improve guidance by filtering corrupted signals, combining data from multiple sensors, and constantly updating the missile's estimated position and flight path. The presence of GNSS equipment on an IRGC missile is therefore significant, but it does not reveal the full capability of the weapon because the receiver's performance depends heavily on its software, signal processing, and integration with the INS. The missile's inertial navigation system is a crucial part of the analysis, because understanding its sensors and processing architecture is essential to assessing how Iran's guidance technology is evolving beyond basic satellite navigation. Iran's ballistic missiles may now be getting smarter, more accurate, and harder to disrupt. Extreme Doppler shifts at very high speeds can cause the GNSS receiver to lose lock on satellite signals, making it difficult to accurately track and process the incoming navigation data. The INS continuously measures acceleration and velocity, allowing it to predict the missile's movement and estimate the expected frequency of the incoming GNSS signal. By providing this predicted frequency information, the INS significantly narrows the receiver's frequency search window, reducing the time and uncertainty involved in locating the correct satellite signal. This enables the GNSS receiver to reacquire satellite signals much faster after losing lock, allowing the navigation system to restore accurate positioning more quickly. The result is a reduction in velocity-related navigation errors, particularly during the extremely high-speed flight conditions experienced by a reentry vehicle. GNSS signals can be disrupted by deliberate jamming, electronic warfare, or even physical obstruction of the receiving antenna, potentially depriving the missile of reliable satellite-based navigation. Unlike GNSS, the INS does not depend on external satellite signals because it determines the vehicle's motion using onboard inertial sensors and measurements. As a result, the INS can continue providing navigation information even when GNSS signals are completely unavailable or severely degraded by interference. The inertial system can maintain an estimate of the missile's position, velocity, and trajectory during the period of GNSS loss, until satellite reception is restored. GNSS receivers typically provide position updates at rates ranging from around 1 to 10 times per second, which can become a significant limitation for vehicles traveling at extreme speeds. At approximately Mach 7, a reentry vehicle can travel roughly 2.3 kilometers in just 1 second, meaning its position can change dramatically between successive GNSS updates. The INS compensates for this limitation by generating navigation updates at a much higher frequency, continuously tracking changes in the vehicle's motion between satellite-based position fixes. When a new GNSS correction becomes available, the system can use the INS to propagate that information forward, updating the missile's estimated position and trajectory more continuously. As GNSS signals travel through the atmosphere, they can experience delays and refraction, introducing errors into the position calculated by the receiver. These errors are caused by atmospheric effects in both the ionosphere and troposphere, which can alter the speed and path of the satellite signals before they reach the missile. Even relatively small atmospheric disturbances can introduce errors across 3 dimensions, affecting the accuracy of the missile's estimated position and trajectory. At extreme velocities, a small positioning error can translate into a significant trajectory deviation over the course of flight, potentially affecting the missile's final accuracy and circular error probable, or CEP. By combining INS measurements with GNSS corrections through a Kalman filter, the navigation system can continuously estimate and refine the missile's position, velocity, and trajectory. This creates a tightly coupled INS-GNSS navigation architecture that can maintain more reliable and precise guidance even when satellite measurements are intermittent, delayed, or affected by interference.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.